When viewers watched Dirty Jobs, what they saw was a smiling Mike Rowe covered in mud, joking his way through another impossible task. What they didn't see were the long nights of setup, the exhaustion, and the silent moments when the crew wondered if they'd gone too far. Every location brought new surprises, unpredictable weather, malfunctioning machines, and sometimes workers who didn't really want to be filmed. The production team had to earn people's trust. Mike made sure every worker understood that the show wasn't about mocking them but celebrating them. Many of the participants later said they felt proud for the first time, because someone finally recognized how difficult their jobs were. However, that same authenticity that made the show inspiring also made it chaotic. There were no rehearsals, no scripts, and no guarantee of safety. It was as close to real life as television could get, and that was both its greatest strength and its biggest danger. Working on Dirty Jobs meant constantly being alert. The crew often worked in extreme heat, freezing cold, and uncomfortable environments filled with smells that most people couldn't stand for more than a few minutes. They spent hours inside sewers, animal pens, and industrial plants. Many nights they returned to hotels too exhausted to eat. Mike Rowe later admitted that he suffered muscle pain and fatigue for years after filming ended. Even simple tasks like lifting camera gear became difficult after long periods of exposure to harsh conditions. The physical strain wasn't just limited to the host. Camera operators and sound engineers had to climb ladders, balance on unstable platforms, and sometimes carry expensive equipment through dangerous zones. The emotional stress was equally heavy. The crew developed a close bond, but seeing each other injured or sick took a toll. Some crew members left mid-season, unable to handle the constant pressure. Before Dirty Jobs, most reality TV focused on competition or drama, singing contests, cooking shows, or celebrity lifestyles. Mike Rowe's program broke that pattern completely. There were no prizes, no glamorous sets, and no rehearsed lines. Instead, the show offered something simple and honest: work. This shift changed how networks viewed reality. After Dirty Jobs, other networks began producing shows about real professions, from Deadliest Catch to Ice Road Truckers. These programs followed a similar formula: real people, dangerous jobs, and raw storytelling. Yet none carried the same humor and warmth that Mike brought. His curiosity and humility gave Dirty Jobs a human heart. Even when the situation was uncomfortable or disgusting, Mike's humor turned fear into fascination. That unique tone became the standard for future documentary-style shows that aimed to respect rather than ridicule their subjects. Each episode introduced viewers to people whose names were rarely remembered, but whose work affected everyone's daily life. Sewage plant operators who protected communities from disease, miners who risked their lives to extract coal, farmers who woke before dawn to feed thousands. These were the true stars. Many of them said they had never been thanked for their jobs before the show. One worker from a crab processing plant told Mike that being on Dirty Jobs gave him more pride than any paycheck ever had. Mike used those encounters to remind viewers that hard work doesn't always lead to fame, but it always deserves respect. The show also inspired students to explore trade schools instead of traditional universities, proving that skilled labor is essential and honorable. That influence continues even today, with many young people discovering episodes online and feeling inspired to pursue hands-on careers. By the show's 8th season, tension behind the scenes had reached a breaking point. The team had survived countless near accidents, but a series of close calls forced everyone to reevaluate. During one episode in an old chemical plant, a small explosion occurred when a machine sparked near a flammable substance. No one was seriously hurt, but the fear was real. The network immediately ordered a full investigation. Inspectors discovered that several filming locations lacked proper ventilation or safety barriers. They warned that one wrong move could lead to tragedy. The horrifying discovery wasn't just about physical danger. It was about how thin the line had become between storytelling and survival. For the first time, Discovery Channel executives realized they were gambling with human lives for the sake of entertainment. Mike Rowe supported the decision to pause production, even though it broke his heart. He knew the crew's safety had to come first. When Dirty Jobs ended, many fans saw it as a loss. But for those who worked on it, the ending was also a relief. Years of constant travel, exposure, and danger had left them drained. The pause gave everyone a chance to recover physically and emotionally. Mike Rowe later said that stopping the show allowed him to reflect on what it had achieved. It wasn't just about showcasing hard work. It had started a national conversation about the value of labor. In many ways, the end of Dirty Jobs marked the beginning of something bigger. A movement to restore respect for everyday workers. Mike took that message beyond television through public speaking, podcasts, and his foundation. The spirit of the show lived on through his efforts to promote trade education and change cultural attitudes toward manual work. During his journey on Dirty Jobs, Mike underwent a personal transformation. Before the show, he had been a voice actor and television host for various programs, but Dirty Jobs gave his career, and his purpose, a new direction. Working alongside people who faced daily hardship changed how he viewed success. He began questioning modern culture's obsession with comfort and luxury. Mike often said that the people he met were some of the happiest and most grounded individuals he'd ever known. Despite their tough conditions, they took pride in their skills and in the fact that their work mattered. That realization reshaped Mike's philosophy on life. He started encouraging others to find meaning not in what they earn, but in what they contribute. This mindset became central to his later work, making him a powerful voice for blue-collar America. Few viewers realize how expensive and risky it is to film a show like Dirty Jobs. Because every episode was shot in unpredictable environments, costs could skyrocket overnight. Damaged cameras, emergency medical care, and sudden delays often added thousands of dollars to the budget. Insurance companies demanded higher premiums, making production even more difficult. Every new location required research, safety assessments, and sometimes legal permissions. The unpredictability made scheduling nearly impossible. Discovery Channel executives loved the authenticity but struggled with the financial strain. By its final seasons, the show's insurance costs alone were reportedly higher than those of some scripted dramas. That financial pressure, combined with safety concerns, made cancellation almost inevitable. Yet even as the show ended, everyone involved felt proud that they had created something truly original, something worth the cost and risk. For years, Dirty Jobs was one of the most unique and loved TV shows on the Discovery Channel. Hosted by Mike Rowe, the show didn't feature glamorous celebrities or exciting stunts. Instead, it focused on ordinary people doing the toughest, dirtiest, and often most dangerous jobs that kept America running. Whether it was cleaning sewers, milking venomous snakes, or diving into muddy swamps, Mike Rowe did it all with humor and respect. But behind the laughter and learning, there were hidden risks, painful realities, and one horrifying discovery that changed everything. Fans were shocked when the show suddenly ended, and only later did people begin to understand what really happened behind the cameras. The idea for Dirty Jobs started simply. Mike Rowe once helped a friend film a short segment about unusual occupations. The response from viewers was overwhelming. People wanted more. They were fascinated by seeing how difficult and essential these unrecognized jobs were. Discovery Channel saw the potential and gave Mike a platform to travel across America, working side by side with real laborers in every episode. From the very beginning, Mike insisted on authenticity. There were no actors, no scripts, and no fakes, just real people and real work. This honesty made the show stand out. Audiences felt they were learning something genuine, not watching stage television. Over time, Dirty Jobs became a celebration of the working class, a reminder that society runs on the efforts of people most of us never notice. Mike Rowe wasn't just a host, he was a participant. Unlike typical TV personalities who kept their distance, he got his hands dirty, literally. He was bitten by animals, soaked in sludge, and sometimes even injured while helping with dangerous tasks. His genuine reactions, laughter, disgust, fear, and amazement, made him relatable. Viewers felt they were watching a friend who wasn't afraid to get involved. But more than that, Mike used the show to highlight respect for blue-collar workers. He reminded viewers that these jobs, though dirty, were honorable. Many fans later said the show changed how they viewed manual labor. It wasn't just entertainment. It was an education in humility and appreciation. However, this dedication to realism came at a cost. The lack of controlled environments meant accidents were almost impossible to avoid. While audiences laughed at Mike's struggles and surprising encounters, few realized how dangerous filming really was. Every episode put both Mike and the crew in unpredictable situations. They faced unstable structures, toxic chemicals, slippery surfaces, wild animals, and heavy machinery. In one episode, Mike nearly got trapped inside a cement mixer when the blades started moving unexpectedly. In another, an ostrich attack left him badly bruised. The show also featured deep-sea diving, dangerous heights, and close contact with infectious materials. For the production team, safety was a constant concern. They carried medical kits and always had paramedics nearby. But even with all precautions, accidents still happened. One small mistake could turn deadly in seconds. These repeated risks began to worry both the network and insurers, who were starting to question whether the show could continue safely. During the later seasons, a shocking discovery came to light, one that would alter the future of Dirty Jobs. It wasn't a single dramatic event, but rather a realization that the danger had become too real. While filming an episode at a sewage treatment site, several crew members reportedly fell ill due to exposure to toxic fumes and bacteria. Investigations revealed that prolonged exposure to certain job environments could cause long-term health problems, including respiratory issues and infections. The insurance company working with Discovery Channel raised concerns, warning that the show's conditions might violate safety standards. This became a major issue. Behind the scenes, Discovery faced rising insurance costs and legal pressure to either increase safety controls or shut down production. For a show built on unpredictable, uncontrolled situations, adding more rules meant losing its raw authenticity, the very thing that made it special. In the end, this discovery of unseen health and safety risks forced everyone to face a hard truth. Continuing could be life-threatening. As filming continued, the behind-the-scenes tension grew. Discovery Channel executives loved the show's popularity, but they couldn't ignore the growing list of accidents and medical reports. Mike Rowe's crew often filmed in unregulated environments, old factories, mines, and waste sites. Unlike studio productions, dirty jobs couldn't always control lighting, ventilation, or stability. Insurance companies began to view the show as a financial risk. They demanded stricter safety measures, new equipment, and higher coverage costs. This made each episode far more expensive to produce. At one point, Discovery Channel had to postpone filming for several weeks due to unresolved insurance approvals. Eventually, executives realized that keeping the show alive might cost more than they could manage. Mike himself later hinted that legal and insurance pressures were among the biggest reasons for the show's cancellation. Working on dirty jobs wasn't just physically challenging, it was emotionally draining too. Mike Rowe often spoke about the guilt he felt when the crew suffered injuries or exhaustion. The show required long hours, uncomfortable weather, and exposure to foul odors and dangerous materials. Many of the workers they filmed with had been doing these jobs for years, sometimes decades, without proper recognition or appreciation. Seeing their daily struggles deeply affected Mike. He started to realize that while the show celebrated their work, it also exposed the painful reality of hard labor in America. The emotional weight of seeing real people risk their lives for basic wages was something that stayed with him long after filming ended. This growing awareness added to his internal conflict about continuing the show. He didn't just want to entertain, he wanted to make sure he wasn't exploiting real suffering. When Dirty Jobs ended in 2012, fans were heartbroken. Many couldn't understand why such a beloved show had to stop. The network released short statements about programming changes. But the real reasons, the safety issues, insurance problems, and behind-the-scenes discoveries, were rarely discussed publicly. Over the years, fans continued to ask for its return. They shared clips online, created fan pages, and even started petitions to bring the show back. For many people, Dirty Jobs wasn't just a TV show. It was a symbol of pride for working Americans. It gave visibility to farmers, plumbers, miners, and waste workers, the people who kept society running while others overlooked them. The show inspired countless young viewers to appreciate vocational work and skilled trades. Even though it ended, its message remained strong. Dignity is not found in cleanliness or comfort, but in effort and honesty. In 2022, a decade after its cancellation, Discovery Channel and Mike Rowe finally brought Dirty Jobs back for a new season. The revival was met with huge excitement. However, the world had changed. New safety standards, new technology, and new public expectations shaped how the show could be made. This time, the crew had stricter health checks, safety officers, and improved filming gear that reduced exposure to harmful environments. Although the episodes still showed messy and risky work, the tone was slightly different, more reflective and cautious.